Football in my life. I love football. You know, I've been playing football all my life. If I did not play football, I would not be playing football today.
Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast. And really, you just have Terry here. Rob is still on sabbatical. Caleb is working. So we have a guest host with us. We have Derek Morton, AKA DMO. Boomer DMO.
Sooner.
So what's it like to filling in the big seat there for Rob and Caleb? Really, you're like double timing it.
Well, it's some big seats to fill, but I'm pretty big myself, so I think I'll fit in nicely over here on this couch.
Yeah.
Rob's been holding out all this love seat over here is pretty comfy.
Yeah, I tell people that he usually sits there and props his feet up, leans back, and he puts his phone on his belly. And while we're talking, he's Twittering or something. I don't know what he's doing.
It's multitasking, man.
Yeah, multitasking. But before we move any further, we got to let everybody know to, follow whatever you're listening to on, follow us, like it, whatever you do, subscribe. We need subscribers. Also, check out our YouTube videos. Louis on Thursday night. They drop on Friday. Go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's just us sitting around talking about Sooner football over a beer and some food. Also go there anytime down on Campus Corner. Join us there out there. And also, if you're planning on, well, first thing, go check out tailgateconnect.com. Our buddy Dan Donnelly, who was his birthday the other day, so happy birthday, Dan. Go check out his website, tailgateconnect.com. He will connect you if you're going to be traveling anywhere. He will connect you to any tailgate anywhere, almost anywhere. This guy goes to tailgates for a hobby. So he's also putting together the Sooner tailgate, which is the weekend of the UCLA game at the Rose Bowl. And you guys can go on the website and buy tickets. It's $40, and it includes all you can eat and drink. He's going to have steak tri-tips. I don't know what else. And I think it's limited to 50, I think. So, but he's doing it up right out there for all the Sooner fans to come out. So go check him out. And if you're going to be out and about, you're checking out some games. If you're going to, you want to go find some good tailgates, he'll connect you with some good people that you'll have a good time with. So go check him out. So, Demo, are you going to the UCLA game next year? First question.
Full disclaimer, I'm supposed to be at a wedding that following Monday in Florida. So, yes, I'll be in UCLA.
I was going to say,
if he listens, London, if you're listening, I'm going to your wedding. So, don't freak out.
Don't freak out. So, but you are going to the UCLA game?
We're going to try to find a way to work it out.
Yeah.
Me and my dad are kind of looking at some stuff.
Well, see, it's a good thing you're here because me and Teresa are looking for people to, what's it called, Airbnb with, because that, my friend, is cheap.
If you can talk my dad into doing Airbnb, not only will I pay for it, but I'll cover the tailgate costs because I've tried to get that man to do Airbnb before, and he's just... It's old school. Nope, we're not doing it. I don't know. That's weird. That's weird.
Well, I mean, okay, some of them it is weird. I wouldn't stay in a house with somebody that's renting their room.
Yeah.
And they're sleeping next door. That's weird. But Rob is staying with his buddy Scotty out in L.A. who lives in Costa Mesa. And so that's where we're looking at, so we can all just kind of mingle and do stuff together out there. And I've been looking. They have full beach houses, 4-bedroom houses, sleeps 12 for like $150 a night. I mean, so I know we've got me and Teresa going. David, my oldest son, he might be going and coming down with his family. He only lives 2 hours away, but he might come down and stay. Lori Claiborne, who you met at
Okay. Making the trip.
Yeah, she's making the trip out there. And I've reached out to a couple other folks who are still thinking about it. So if we can get, 8 or 10 people, be a, nice little.
Well, if I can't do the Airbnb, I'm gonna do my own version of Airbnb, and that's stay with my dad in his semi.
Yeah.
Because that's might be my way of getting out there.
Yeah. Well, we're actually buckling down and flying. I don't like to fly. I don't know if you knew that. Me and Rob both don't like to fly, but I am like.
I don't like to be sober.
Yeah. I'm pretty much.
If I'm gonna go, I'd rather not feel anything.
Yeah. Mine is 25 to 30 milligrams of Valium. You can fly that puppy into a mountainside and it won't bother me.
Well, my go-to is usually 2 whiskeys, and I mean that worked fine until I took my first morning flight.
Yeah.
And the stewardess kind of gave me like a weird look, and I'm sorry, I said what I said.
Yeah.
If you want me to make it to Phoenix, it's gonna have to happen.
Bring me a whiskey now. Yeah, I don't do well with heights and planes. So, but we've been looking. I guess we're going to end up going out there for the week, from a Wednesday to Wednesday. I'm going to spend a couple of days with my son, then down on the weekend down at Costa Mesa, and then the back, because airline tickets, they're getting more expensive. I'm going to have to buy them pretty soon. Airline tickets doubled from what they were 2 months ago for a Thursday night and Friday and a Monday flight. But if I move it back Wednesday, it's like $125 one way. So, $300 round trip.
You can't beat that.
Yeah.
I mean, especially out there.
Yeah. So,
I think if we fly, it's going to be like fly down on Saturday, fly back on Sunday, just real quick. Because then I got to figure out a way to get to Florida. I'm going, by the way. I'm going to the wedding in Florida.
You're going to?
I will be at the wedding in Florida.
Where is it at in Florida?
It's at Disney World. Hold on. I love Disney World, so it's not a problem.
Well, I love Disney World too, but I'm not going to get married there.
Well, hey, some of us can't. He can. He is. And, hey, I get a trip out of it, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's something. Where at? Is it at the...
I don't know.
Is it going to be on Space Mountain or...
Well, if he was cool enough, he would be. He's an OSU grad,
No.
so,
Well, then I was fixing to say, hey, why don't you tell him to do it in Disneyland out in Anaheim? Then...
Oh, problem solved.
There you go.
Right? It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's...
As soon as they say I do, congratulations, hugs, and we're off to L.A.
There you go. Well, it's right in the middle of,
Well, the other L.A.
The other...
Far, whatever direction it is.
Yeah. But, folks who get married during football season at all, it should be illegal.
I agree completely.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Hey, we're going to, move it, Friday night. No, just don't get married during football season.
Yeah, we have some family members that don't talk to us anymore because 2014, we get the invite. My dad goes, hey, read this. I'll check it out. My cousin's getting married, and, well, it's on October 12th.
Yeah.
Well, that's the second Saturday in October, so you can find me in Dallas. We had already got the tickets and everything.
Yeah.
And, we sent a text, like, hey, sorry, not going to be there, boomer sooner.
There you go. Well, see, and...
It's been 5 years, so...
And they still haven't talked to you?
I mean, we're still here, if they were wondering.
Yeah. Well, Caleb's birthday is October 11th. So when he was a little kid, we were just pretty much screwed with going to the OU Texas game. Because we always had to, we always had to have a party for him.
God, the old wheel boot. Jeez.
However, when he turned... when he started getting old, he turned 16. He didn't want a party for his 16th birthday. He wanted to go to OU Texas. So that's how we celebrated his 16th birthday.
Yeah, I think your first OU Texas is probably when you can, be able to drink. So like 12, 13 years old. And, go down there with dad, share the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
you go get him another one. Your reward is a sip.
Yeah. I've shared this story before. It was... of course, it was like an 11 o'clock kickoff or a noon kickoff.
Of course.
And we were down there, and Teresa wanted to get a corn dog. So she gets in line. We're there early. She gets in line to get a corn dog. I'm standing there. I don't like corn dogs, so I'm standing there, and her and Caleb are in line. Yeah, don't look at me like I don't like corn dogs.
Fletcher's corn dogs?
No, I don't.
Dude.
Cornbread wrapped around a wiener. No.
Okay, have you been to Diamond Dogs?
Yes, I like hot dogs. I don't
You don't like corn dogs, but you haven't had their corn dog.
No, I haven't.
It's called the Wonder Boy, and it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Captain Crunch batter. You get a honey mustard dip. You will change your mind about corn dogs.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I do not know about that. But anyway, I'm standing there, and I turn around, and there's a beer stand right behind me, just opening up. So I get 2 beers, one for each hand, because I have 2 of them. And Teresa comes walking up, and she stops and looks at me, goes, really? And by the way, she got in the wrong line, so she didn't get corn dogs, but she got, I think it was fried pickles, big old giant thing of fried pickles. So she's standing there, and she goes, really? It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and you have 2 beers. And I went, really? It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and you have a pound of fried pickles. I don't see the difference.
Actually, if we're going to talk about 9 o'clock, you're running a little late there, Terry.
Yeah, I was.
You got to have 2 on the way.
Yeah. And
if you're in the Uber,
not
if you're driving.
But this is where I bought beer at because it was like $5.
Oh yeah.
But when you would go inside or to other places, it was
Shot up to 12.
Yeah, $12. I'm like, I'm just going to keep walking outside to this guy out here and buy the $5 beer. But
Beer Barn is clutch, by the way.
Beer Barn
on the main entrance of the stadium, the big Cotton Bowl side entrance. Yeah. There is this little shack, and it looks like a beat-up little just outhouse. It is called the Beer Barn, and those are $5.
$5. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I will have to.
And you get a souvenir cup on your first go-round.
Cool. Well, see, there you go, folks. You've learned something if you haven't already figured that out. But DMO knows where to find the beer at. So
it's right by the Fletcher's corn dogs.
Yeah, I don't like corn dogs.
Funny story on corn dogs real quick.
Okay.
And OU, Texas.
Okay.
So last year, we get there probably 8:30. Beer in hand.
Yeah.
We go and get a corn dog. My dad gives me mine because I got the beer, right? Keep it even. Hands me my corn dog, and we meet up with some friends, and we're walking around to our gate to go ahead and go inside the stadium. And he's like, man, these just came out. They're hot. I was like, all right, cool. I'll let it cool off a little bit. 30 steps later, I take a big bite right out of my corn dog. The meat was cold. Piping hot breading. Cold meat. I looked up right at my dad and said, we're going to lose. By God, we lost. And I had a cold corn dog.
A core cold corn dog.
Core cold. It was terrible.
I could imagine.
And it went just how the game went. Started off great. Got that first bite. It was hot. Then you got to the middle of it, and it got cold, and it sucked.
Yeah.
And it didn't get any better.
Yeah. Well, but it almost got better. You thought, I still have a corn dog.
Right.
Yeah. And then it was like, yeah, but it's a cold corn dog.
Because then you were like, the breading, the breading's hot, so that's good. There was mustard on it. That makes it better. We came back. We lost by 3. So, yeah.
You had it was a cold corn dog.
So, basically, last year's game was a cold corn dog.
Yeah. So,
right? It was terrible.
Is that how you're going to say? Rob and Caleb don't believe that stuff matters. I believe that stuff matters.
It's 100% real.
I wear the same stuff. Every year I get a new shirt for the Sooner, OU games. And generally a new hat. And I wear that hat or the shirt generally until we lose. Mm-hmm. And depending on what type of shirt it is, but I've gone through, like, when we lost to Houston and Ohio State, back to, we were back. Yeah. I went through 2 new hats, 2 new shirts in 2 weeks.
Hey, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
The Iowa State game we lost.
Mm-hmm.
Last day I ever wore that Baker jersey.
Yeah.
Still haven't worn it since. It's in the closet and for sale. So
where you're sitting at right there was where I watched the entire game at. I don't watch an OU game in this room anymore.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah. I will watch the playback the next day, but I do not watch. Caleb kept coming in going, Dad, let's go to the rally patio. It's what we call our patio. We'll go out there and watch it. And I still stand firm on this belief. I shouldn't need the rally patio against Iowa State.
Yeah, it was a bad day. I just got out of the hospital the day before.
Yeah, I think I remember you were.
I had concussion issues. Just played a semi-pro game like the week before. Had tunnel vision. Hadn't gone to work. It was a bad day. It's a bad weekend. Bad omens.
Yeah. And, of
That
course,
jersey's gone.
you refrained from alcohol that weekend.
I did refrain from
Did you
alcohol
really?
that weekend. Yes, I did.
That was the problem.
Orders.
That was the problem. See, I hate strict orders from doctors about refraining from alcohol because, I mean, I've had that before. I took some antibiotics, and
this was my dad's orders.
No, was it?
And if it was a doctor, oh well. No, this was my father.
No, but the doctor told me it was on a Thursday. It was like, you need to take these. Do not drink alcohol at all for the next 10 days or 7 days that you're taking it, because it'll make you sick. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, seriously, do not. No, it will make you violently ill. It's a reaction. You will wish you were dead. And I was like, when do I need to start taking them? He goes, well, whenever you want, because it's Thursday. I drink on Thursday nights. So I was like, can I start on tomorrow? And he's like, I don't care. Why do you want to start on tomorrow? Because I got beer to drink tonight.
Priorities, people.
Yeah. So, I waited a day to start taking antibiotics. Thank God the infection didn't spread, and I lost arms and legs that night, but I had my priorities.
That's right.
But real quick, I want to get into this deal I saw today. You're an Avengers fan, right? Didn't I see a deal you're getting ready?
Oh, yeah.
Or when are you going to the...
We're going Sunday afternoon, so I'll be deleting all social media coming tomorrow night.
That's ridiculous that they have to... They've been telling people, please, asking people, don't tweet about it, don't say anything about it.
Yeah, I don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
My followers love you guys, but I don't trust you guys.
Caleb's going Thursday night at 6 o'clock, I think.
Well, I don't want to talk to Caleb until
Monday. But we still haven't got tickets yet. Me and the wife will go see it, but I'm not out. It's one of those movies. I'm not a big movie goer. I go to stuff like that. I'll go watch the Avengers. But, like Caleb and, Teresa and all my kids, they've been big movie goers. They'll go watch anything at the movies. Caleb goes to the movies by himself. If
been there,
just
been there.
I
man.
want to see it.
It's kind of relaxing.
But with the Avengers, our buddy over at Last Word on College Football, lastwordonsports.com, Jason Ray, he's been on the podcast before. He put out a deal. College football coaches as Avengers.
Okay.
So
I have a feeling it's going to make me really mad.
No, it's actually pretty funny. Let's start off and see if you can guess what coach you think it would be. Okay. Mm-hmm. Phil Coulson. Phil is the guy who was Nick Fury's, and I don't know this off the top of my head. I'm reading here. It was Nick Fury's assistant, I guess. He was the one who went to him, all of them.
Oh, okay, yeah. What coach? Golly, they went in depth on that. What coach would represent him? It was like the assistant that brought forward the idea.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, he was killed in the first Avengers film, which made no sense to me. Loki killed him.
Yeah. Matt Rule.
Mac Brown.
Oh, man, you got to give him a little more credit than that. That's my favorite Texas coach ever.
But it says, after being a studio analyst and color commentator since being fired from Texas, he goes back to North Carolina to attempt to reclaim his glory from the 90s. Don't expect either to be back in the mainstream anytime soon.
Okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah, now it makes sense. So, okay, the next one, Doctor Strange. You should get this one easily. This is a...
Jimbo Fisher?
No.
Well, he's a strange cat.
Yeah,
so.
I think stranger than that.
Stranger than Tom Herman?
No, stranger than that.
Dabo?
No, come on.
Stranger.
Oklahomans love him.
Gundy?
No, Oklahomans love him.
Oh.
Sooner fans love him. He likes pirates.
Oh, Mike Leach. Oh, man, yeah. That should have been easier than it was.
Yeah, it says... For Leach, he has also come close to holding the master key at the end of the year, but is yet to win the elusive conference championship. But make no mistake, both of these are under the radar and very dangerous in their own right.
Absolutely.
Now, this one, too, I'm going to say that this one should be easy, but...
Now I'm going to not get any of these.
Yeah, Loki.
Loki, that's Tom Herman.
There you go.
Without a doubt. You'd be like, finally, he's gone. Oh, God, he's here still? Like, party's over, dude. Go home.
Let's see. Although he has tried to cross Thor on multiple occasions, he finds out a way to have some good moments. Herman has been criticized for his sensitivity related to his team being disrespected with the down horn sign last year, but it also is a year that gave Texas its team 10 wins, including a bowl victory over Georgia.
It's every year. Horns down is every year. It's not just last year. It's
Yeah.
not a new thing.
It started back with Mac Brown.
Not shocked here.
Yeah. So this one, Black Panther.
Okay, now that's tricky because I don't want to be like the guy that, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Because I'm not even going to get into it.
Yeah.
Black Panther. Can I ask for conference?
Pac-12.
David Shaw.
Bam. Good job, man.
Okay, now do you understand why I didn't want to just fire that one off? That's terrible.
Shaw's clubs have been a pillar of consistency, and they consistently win the right way. Class is the best word to describe both of these powerful individuals.
Fair statement.
Yeah. Okay, Rocket.
Rocket.
You said it before. You said
It's
his,
Dabo.
No.
Rocket. I've said it before.
Yeah, you guessed it on the first one, or the second one. You guessed it on Doctor Strange.
Now I'm going blank. I can't even remember.
Jimbo Fisher.
Ah, dang it.
Even though both
Makes
Rocket
sense.
and Fisher have done a good job in the past at getting people to hate them, they are upper quadrant of success and popularity at their position. So,
I mean, $70 million, no buyout.
yeah.
Rocket can negotiate too.
Let's see, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Oh goodness. Yeah. So I'm thinking of a team that like is small but can be big.
Yeah,
Was it around that one?
And not really disrespected, but not really respected.
TCU? Gary
No.
Patterson?
No,
No.
no. He used to be in the Big 12
Used to be in the Big 12.
until very recently. He took another job.
Kingsbury?
He took another job south of the border. He was from the north.
Oh, so
Starts with a West.
West.
The team starts with a West. God dang it, man. I'm giving you every. Dana Holgerson.
Oh, starts with a West.
He coached for West Virginia.
Oh, that okay. I was thinking of the new school, Dana.
Yeah, Dana, which I can say that one I think fits more
Does he
because
still have his sponsorship from Ricola? And Red Bull? His quote on stopping Kyler Murray in Big 12 Media Days by far
Yeah,
top
I
five.
can't remember what.
How do you plan on stopping the quarterback from Oklahoma? He goes, oh, the kid that went for 60 on the first play? Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it was it him or the guy from FAU just went blank that said how did what's
Joey Freshwater?
Yeah. It was they were going to, I think it was, I'm going to call the A's and see if they can offer him more money or something like that. So he doesn't have to play at all. But let's see why they had Ant-Man as Holgerson. Wild hair aside, Holgerson made the head-scratching move of the offseason by leaving West Virginia and heading to Houston.
He went home.
It was rumored that Holgerson did not have a great relationship with the administration in Morgantown, so it would appear both he and Ant-Man had a lack of trust in their superiors.
I mean, it's West Virginia. Can you blame him? Those fans are extremely excited about Austin Kendall.
Yeah.
And it's annoying.
And that they don't have anything else is what's really annoying about it. They don't. They lost every key player.
I had a fan tell me, he's like, we got Austin Kendall. I was like, dude, you had Will Greer. Like, come on, man.
And
told me they would beat OU in Norman by 13.
Yeah.
And hold OU to 21.
Is that old boy, the one that's always on there? What's his name on Twitter?
Oh, the dude?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
No, it
about.
wasn't him. It was a younger kid. I
So
offered him
there's
$1,000 bet, and he didn't take it.
So there's someone else dumber than that guy. So
Well, I don't know if he's under 18 or not, but yeah, he's a dumbass.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. That's you got a new coach, every skilled position. I mean, they lost somebody off of every skill position: offensive line, receiver, running back, quarterback.
Is Jennings gone? The number 12 that ran by
I
every
think so.
safety we put out there? Thank God.
Yeah, he's in the draft this week because I know that because I was looking at the draft stuff today, and there was a picture of him and Buki behind him, chasing him.
That was a bad day. Not just for Buki. Anybody that lined up at safety, it was terrible.
Let's see, Hawkeye. Yeah, this one's kind of
Give me a conference.
non-conference.
Brian Kelly.
There you go. That one was kind of easy, wasn't it? Rumor of him shedding the arrows for the Ronin persona. He could once again return to glory in this film, much like Kelly did with the Irish last season.
Oh, God.
Yeah. The Hulk.
Nick Saban.
Nope.
No. I just imagine,
He coached in Texas with Mac Brown.
Oh, man.
He was the heir apparent of Mac Brown, and then he left. SEC. It's where you're going to a wedding at.
Oh, SEC, Florida.
Yeah.
Dan Mullen?
Will Muschamp.
He's at South Carolina.
South Carolina, but he was at Florida.
Oh, it was a terrible clue.
Yeah, my bad.
They gave him the Hulk?
Yeah, primarily because of his picture, I think. That's...
No, he should have been like, the alien Squidward dude from the Infinity War? That was Muschamp. Talk, and then, cut a hole and he's gone. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Infinity War. Sorry.
Okay, War Machine.
War Machine. Is it SEC?
Yep.
War Machine. Saban?
Nope.
Dang it. No, Saban's Thanos. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got that one.
You got that one.
All right, so SEC.
His team promised to thump Alabama. I think it was last year. Yeah, and just got skull drug all over the field by Alabama.
Was it Malzahn?
No, Derek Mason, Vanderbilt.
Oh, see, that's another one. If you think about it, you get that one right the first time, you look terrible.
Yeah.
Didn't he get in a fight with Florida?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Huh. Credit to them. That's probably where it came from.
All right, Drax.
Big, dumb, but effective.
Man, you almost hit this coach right on the...
Is it Big 12?
Yep.
Big, dumb, and effective. Or effective. Gary Patterson.
There you go. Damn.
He's not dumb. Gary Patterson's an awesome guy.
Yeah, but...
He also told me I was 2 inches short from a scholarship, so sorry, Gary.
Yeah, I think his persona is because when they show him on the sidelines, he's...
I don't think Drax sweats that much, though.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He has his towel and...
change of shirts.
Yeah.
Every quarter.
Let's see here. Spider-Man.
I don't know. Dabo?
Nope.
No. He's going to be one of them. Let me get the conference.
Big 12.
Oh, Gundy.
Nope. Closer.
Closer?
Yeah, to us.
What's closer than Stillwater? Oh, Lincoln? Is it Lincoln?
Yeah, Lincoln.
Oh, okay. Closer to...
Yeah. What's closer than Stillwater? Yeah, how many of those have you been...
I don't know. Same amount as Lincoln Riley's losses.
Yeah. If Riley can find a way to win a playoff game, perhaps a national championship, then it will catapult him into Avengers status. So, let's see, Iron Man.
Well, Iron Man and Spider-Man are like father and son. I don't like that because that means that Lincoln Spider-Man, that means we've got like a protege kind of thing.
You're you're on the right track.
So I'm guessing it's not in the Big 12 because
No.
we run that. Is it one of the playoff coaches?
No.
Okay, never mind. Protege.
People, I won't say protege, people compared Lincoln to him when he first came to Oklahoma. And he was a head coach. Well, he's been a head coach at several places, got left on a tarmac.
Oh. Joey Freshwater.
No. Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, Joey Freshwater.
Joey Freshwater. I got that. Yeah.
You know, when he wants to go mingle with the FAU co-eds. We all know about the Alabama case. We know what's happening.
Yeah. Captain America. This one was kind of weird. What football coach, college football coach will be Captain America? This one is even a hard one. I mean, not the coach. I mean, just to match them. I can kind of see.
Is he popular?
He is. He was down in Florida.
Oh, I don't know his name.
And then he was, when he went back to the school he graduated from. Recently.
I cannot remember his name.
Scott Frost.
That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still a little evidence that Frost won't have the Huskers contending for a Big 12 championship in the near future.
What conference?
Big 10 championship,
Oh.
sorry.
No, just it's a typo.
No,
It's
it's a
their
typo.
fault. But if that's any hint at, bringing them back, I'm all for it.
I'm all for it, yeah.
Colorado can come back. Nebraska can come back. Missouri and A&M, you can piss off.
Yeah. Okay, Thor. We've only got 2 left, and you've already guessed the last one.
Dabo.
There you go.
I knew they were on the list somewhere.
You had to have Dabo, and, of course, Nick Saban is Thanos. And it's kind of true. I mean, he's pretty much wiped out half of college football.
And he never ages.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanos is like 200 years old.
And I mean, I don't know.
And he looks 70. Saban's 70 and looks 40. I
used to hate Saban, but now I've come to respect him a little bit more because, and I used the Bob Stoops example. Remember in the early 2000s, everybody hated Bob Stoops.
Oh, yeah.
Because he beat everybody. I mean, he won 1 championship, but, it was big game Bob. He was always there, always playing for it. Difference in Bob and Nick is Nick gets there and wins on him.
Yeah.
So, but you can't argue with what Nick has done. I mean, I don't dislike Alabama. I don't dislike him, but it's kind of like, geesh. I mean, when he gets mad at the media, it's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like the Spurs coach, Doc.
Oh, Popovich.
Pop. It's
He's
like,
a mixture of Pop and Westbrook.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't, plus I wonder how much Coca-Cola is paying him to have that Coca-Cola bottle.
Does he ever drink it?
I've never seen him drink it.
I've never seen him drink it. I've seen him drink the water, which is also a Coca-Cola product.
Yeah, because
so he's getting paid.
Yeah, he's getting paid to have a Coca-Cola bottle up there, which is brilliant marketing on his part. Hey, everybody in the country is going to be watching me on Saturdays.
I hope they get him a Coke bottle that says Nick on it. That would be great. And he will hate it.
Oh, yeah. But, when people bring it up, what else can you say about, what Alabama has done?
I mean, you really can't knock it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what everybody wants in football.
Yeah. It's I said it's the Bob effect. It's also the Baker Mayfield effect. Everybody but Oklahoma and Cleveland now hates Baker Mayfield. In college football, everybody hated Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah.
If he was your quarterback, you would love him.
And we do.
Yeah, Nick Saban. Everybody hates Nick Saban, but if he was your coach,
you'd probably be in love. Yeah.
You'd be sitting there going, hey,
I'm kind of like you. I don't bash the guy. You can't bash the guy because obviously his product works. I'm just to the point now where it's just like, oh, Alabama's up by 30. I'm like, well, yeah, I know it's Saturday. So,
but here's my question: is we see how dynamic Lincoln is with recruiting. Okay, outgoing and personable and da-da. Nick Saban is like the polar. How does he get any kid to like him?
Well, there's a Dodge dealership down the street from Alabama. No, I mean, you're right. Like when it comes to recruiting wise, we see Lincoln and how personable he is and how just, in depth with the family he gets on these recruiting trips. And you always hear the stories from these kids. Like they love it. They felt like they were at home. It feels like family. Now, I don't get on Alabama message boards or anything or follow much Alabama Twitter.
Yeah.
But I mean, you almost have to believe it's some of the same stuff. It's just not, as we just don't see it as often being OU fans.
Yeah.
But, like I read The Blind Side, the Michael Orr story, and then I had looked into like his recruiting to LSU when Nick was there, and you kind of got a bit of that from the movie, but it's a movie.
Yeah.
But Nick was always, from what I read, he's very personable.
Yeah.
He does get involved. But it's always stuff you never see on camera.
Right.
He's not doing it for the video or for the picture. He's doing it because this is his livelihood. This is his business. And he's got a way he does things. And I mean, obviously he's winning kids over.
Yeah. Well, and I saw there was a video that was out, I guess, maybe it was on ESPN, where they were out with him and a bunch of the players on his boat.
Yeah, the freshman thing. Yeah, had them all over and took them out on the boat, ran out of gas.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So,
I mean, the kids obviously love him. They wouldn't want to, they wouldn't go there if they didn't, which, but it comes back to, too, is that, the kids these days, people talk about, they don't want the discipline. They want this and this. Nick Saban is a disciplined coach. The joke is, when we were playing them in the Orange Bowl this year, there was one point where there was a guy jumped, false start twice. A tackle did. Second time he wrote down, and Herbstreit was like, he's writing his name down. That's when he's going to get the what for when he walks in. And you've seen him chew on his quarterbacks. I mean, coming off, and
that man is so irate when he gets mad. I'm afraid he's going to stroke out. And then what's even worse is you look in the bottom corner of the screen and see that they're up by 34.
Yeah.
And he's just going through this kid about something. And it could have been that he used the wrong foot to line up or something. He's just chewing him up one side and down the other.
And though I'm with people who say, kids these days, the discipline and stuff, but I think if that's what they're expecting and that's, hey, this is, they see it. They talk to other players. Rufus sat right here one night and talked, what we wanted to know, what was the worst chewing he ever got, and from who, either Stoops or Venables. And it was Venables. For, I think
I've seen Venables light somebody up in the film room, man.
Yeah.
That is some scary stuff. You better know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When he calls on you, I hope you can hold on to your soul.
Because he's going to rip it out if he can.
That man is intense.
Yeah. Well, you can tell. I mean, what is it? Somebody said that his morning drink is like Spark and Red Bull and, 5-hour energy drink is what he drinks.
I don't know. But I think, if anything, it's got to be pure adrenaline.
Yeah.
Because, that guy's intense all the time.
Yeah.
I remember my senior year in high school. Went to a friend's house and they were next door neighbors. We were over there playing basketball, about to get in the pool, and the parents weren't there at the time. And he kind of pops over the fence. He's like, "What are y'all doing?" I'm like, "Nothing, coach." We're gonna go inside.
Yeah. Are we making too much noise?
Yeah, really. I'm sorry. Are we breathing in your direction?
I used to see him at Home Depot all the time, and he walks fast, walks straight, doesn't look around. It's like he had a map of Home Depot and just walk down the aisle, and you would see him walk back. Whatever he had, he was getting.
That was the quickest house that's ever been built.
Yeah,
no stop.
But now I wonder also how much the guy that is his handler on the sidelines gets paid. Is that all the guy does? Is handle him, or is he?
As far as I know, yeah.
Nobody's ever said he does anything else.
I'd like to know what he gets paid too, and does he have hazard pay?
Yeah,
because
I've seen him turn on him before.
Man. That guy's out there in a polo and pants,
yeah.
No pads, nothing. Give the guy a helmet.
There's been times he's pulled him and he turns around and his fists are all Popeye forearms out like. Yeah, but I mean, hey, we're going to hire a guy to be maybe that's something we can look in. Maybe Grinch will be. He seems to be
a gym membership. So
yeah,
they need somebody.
He seems to be pretty fired up. type of coach. Maybe he'll need a sideline.
Is he in the sideline or is he up in the booth?
I think he's going to be on the
I
sidelines.
hope he's on the sideline.
I'm not a coordinator in the booth guy.
I'm not a fan of having to watch
football.
my coordinator in the booth on ESPN, seeing him grip the table.
Now, it was fun watching Mike. Mike,
The Ohio State game was fun to watch.
Yeah.
The rest of them,
Yeah.
oh, man.
But
You pray that those are soundproof walls.
But we went from one extreme last year to the other.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
We get a safety, in the Big 12
sack safety.
Yeah.
Big 12 championship. Game changer.
And I'm pretty sure Ruffin McNeil's apnea kicked in because he was
Never blinked.
Hand on his.
Get the man a Diet Coke. I mean, I thought the video had paused.
Yeah, but no.
I thought we were buffering.
Yeah.
He just didn't move.
Yeah, it was like, whoa, we went from, Tasmanian devil dropping F-bombs and spitting everywhere. They'd have to come and clean off the
headsets
window.
do you think he broke?
Oh, my God.
In the Iowa State game.
Yeah. Or in the Texas game this year. So, but yeah, we went from one. So, but it's my understanding he's going to be on the sidelines, is what I heard. So,
Hey, I like it.
Yeah, because get the position guys up there watching their deal and feeding the stuff back down to the coach, not the coach sitting there trying to watch everything. That's my view of it. If the DC is up there,
I totally believe two coaches could say the same exact thing to a player, and the player will respond differently from who he hears it from. I completely believe that.
But, well, let's get into a little bit of draft talk. You want to talk a little bit of draft?
Might as well.
Is one of the most impressive parts of this draft to me is that there's been 22 players invited to the draft. To have be wined and
the
dined.
green room.
Yeah,
and
the
all
green
that?
room,
Okay.
which is Kyler Murray, Cody Ford, and Marquise Brown. So we got 3 guys that have been invited
Out of the 22?
out of the 22.
Nice.
One thing that does stand out too is they're all offensive players. We didn't have any defensive guys invited.
What? Now hold on. I can't even think of anything funny to say. It's all a joke.
Alabama has 3. They've got a running back, Josh Jacobs, offensive tackle, Jonah Williams, and defensive tackle, Quinnen Williams.
Quinnen Williams is pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Clemson has 1. Duke has 1.
Who was the one from Clemson?
Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle.
I was just watching him on the All-Star Challenge. I had no idea how smart that guy is.
Oh, really?
Apparently he's just, he's good on the field, but even better in the classroom. Had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought he was just a big goofball. After I saw him do the splits in Tampa, I was like, who is this kid?
Yeah.
He caught the fake punt against us in the 2015 Orange Bowl, and then he's hitting the splits, and he's being, I was like, this guy's a goober. And then they're like, hey, this is his speech from his national award acceptance. I'm like, what? All right, more power to you. Get it, big man.
But Duke has 1. Florida has 1. Yeah, Duke quarterback Daniel Jones.
Never heard of her.
Florida State. Georgia has a defensive back. Houston, a defensive tackle. Iowa has 2. 2 tight
One of
ends.
them's a tight end. Okay, both
of them are, what the hell?
I was like, one of them's a tight end. It has to be.
What, they run 2 tight end set at Iowa all the time?
Oh, absolutely. The third guy got left out.
Kentucky has 1. LSU has 2.
Greedy Williams and somebody else. White.
Yep, Devin White. Michigan has 1.
Is it Rashawn Gary?
Devin Bush. Missouri has 1. Drew Lock, the quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Ohio State has 1. Bosa.
Haskinson couldn't fight it.
No.
But he should have won the Heisman.
Yeah. Ole Miss has 1. Wide receiver DK Metcalf.
Kid's a freak.
And Washington State has offensive tackle Andre Dillard. But still, it's impressive. It's not just, we've got 9 players in the draft. 3 of them
Potential first round.
Yeah, I think they're going to go first round, depending on who you talk to.
Yeah.
And because Marquise Cody Ford and Kyler are a lock first round.
Absolutely. I
Marquise,
think Marquise could slip a little bit.
He could.
With the whole foot surgery, I think that kind of put him behind.
But let's start with Kyler. You want to start with Kyler? Because
let's get,
is there any reason that you can find that the Arizona Cardinals don't take him number one?
Yeah, I think it depends on how much control Cliff Kingsbury has.
Yeah.
When it comes to the draft. How much power does the GM have, and how much does the GM like Josh Rosen?
Yeah.
You just spent a first-round pick, top 10 pick on a quarterback the year before. You didn't start him for probably half the season. When he got in there, he didn't look great. You're questioning his commitment to the team and all that. Then the rumors come up that, Cliff's headed to Arizona. Cliff is on record saying if he was an NFL coach, he's taking Kyler first overall.
Yeah.
Well, we're about
36
hours, 48 hours from finding out if that's, a bunch of hockey or nothing.
Well, if Kingsbury wants him, all he needs to do, I think, if he really wants him, he needs to sit down, and as much as I hate saying this, show the GM and ownership Baker Mayfield with the Cleveland Browns this year. Show him games with Baker at OU and then Kyler Murray at OU. And then Mahomes at Kansas City and go, these guys are why I want him. You know what I mean? Baker
Absolutely.
And Mahomes, you're just going to sit here and go, this is what I'm going to do,
I'm not a Rosen fan at all. I mean, as far as his, his personal life or whatever, I don't care about all that. If we're talking about the player, he's good.
Yeah.
He's got the prolific size and stature, and I was not impressed with him at UCLA.
No.
He had some good ball games,
moments.
Yeah, it's moments. I mean, when it comes, if you're, gun to the head and you're choosing Josh Rosen, Kyler Murray,
Do it.
I mean, come on. It's Kyler Murray. Sure, he went 57-3 and doesn't know if he can lose a lot, which was a bogus article.
Yeah, I saw that.
So he didn't lose enough. Oh, man. That must mean he won. Is he a winner? I mean,
Well, see, here's the thing with Kyler Murray too. Okay, first off, and the Wonderlic scores came out. You saw those got leaked.
Did he score higher than 6? Vince Young.
He scored the lowest of the quarterbacks. Okay, first off, as Wonderlic sounds like a porn movie more than it does a test to you find out your intelligence. But it's a personnel test to a popular group of intelligent tests used to assess aptitude of prospective employees for learning and problem solving in the range of occupations.
Why are we asking football players about if Sally has 12 bananas and whatever?
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense to me. And I think the Wonderlic is a joke.
Here's the deal. It consists of 50 multiple choice questions to be answered in 12 minutes. Okay,
do you think he even cared, or do you think he went ACDC, ACDC, ACDC?
I don't think I could read 50 questions in 12 minutes myself, but
I'm not reading the whole question.
But he scored a 20 on it. Okay, here's the deal: well-researched articles, on Medium looked at quarterbacks only and determined there was a minor benefit for this position. There seems to be some sort of smartness threshold where the best NFL quarterbacks need to be at least this smart to see their success. But once a quarterback passes that threshold, that is around 25, there's additional smartness has little or no effect of their success on the field. So basically what it's saying, if you score above 25, you're going to be bad. It's not going to help you. You're no more effective. If you're in that range 25, you're good. You're not too smart to play quarterback.
So we're talking about 20 to 25 is a good thing.
Yeah. They said 25
scored the lowest out of the quarterback.
Yeah.
So what did those other quarterbacks score? Are they over 25?
Ryan Finley was 43. He apparently went to, I guess Harvard.
Was he the next Fitzpatrick or something?
Gardner Minshew. Some of these guys I haven't even heard of. But
you haven't heard of Gardner Minshew?
No. Who is Gardner Minshew?
The Washington State quarterback?
Oh, okay. Duh. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. He put the mustache on leash.
Will Greer scored a 30, so he's too smart for the position. That's what it's. I mean, it's just basically
it's a heck of an excuse.
Yeah, if you score,
starting, I'm too smart.
Yeah, if you score more than 25, that being that smart doesn't help you. It seems to be in that I'm going to say it like what my mom got mad at me about. I've told this story before. There were 250 high school seniors in my high school graduating class. Towards the end of the year, you go and you meet with your counselor, and they get you all your stuff lined out for colleges and to send them. I was number 125 out of 250.
Heck yeah!
I was the curve.
That's right. You know what half? Top half.
Yeah. I was what separated the smart people from the dumb people. Yeah. But it's kind of like that. Sounds like that's what the Wonderlic is. It's like if you score 6, okay, you probably can't play. In the
NFL.
Yeah, towel boy. But
or apparently an assistant to the athletic department.
But if you score in the mid 20s, you're okay. So Wonderlic, I don't. Again, why? I think it's and why. Who is the weirdo that goes, I'm going to release the Wonderlic scores?
Imagine being the proctor for that test. I'm going to give these NFL players a quiz on real world issues.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Another thing, I look at Kyler Murray, and I watched this. I watched 2 shows this past weekend about the draft. Okay. One was I can't remember if it's a 30 on 30 or the NFL Network. It was hold on. I just went blank on both. Elway to what's his name? Played for the Dolphins for years. Marino. It's called Elway to Marino because they were in the same draft class. The reason,
bad draft class.
Yeah, and there was the whole deal of Elway wanted to play baseball and all this other stuff. But my big thing on it was that basically everybody thought Dan Marino was a pothead. That's why my Pittsburgh Steelers didn't take him. We went through Tommy Maddox, Slash, Neil O'Donnell. When we could have had freaking Dan Marino, they passed on him because they were concerned that he had a drug issue. Anyway, that was one of them. Watch the other one was on Doug Flutie. Okay, and I'm going to make a comparison of Kyler Murray to Doug Flutie. Okay. The reason why is Doug Flutie, and they've been talking about his height, Kyler's height, and all this other stuff, and he's speed, he's athletic, and da-da-da-da. Doug Flutie is Kyler Murray 20 years ago, okay, or if even that far. Yeah, about 15 years ago. He came to the NFL in 86, 87, 88, and 89. 10 years then he spent in Canadian football. Never really got an opportunity to start and play. Went to the Canadian Football League and just smoked it. Came back in his 40s, okay? And he had one good year, 88. He played 11 games for New England. And he didn't do that well, but New England wasn't that good in 88. Yeah. So, but then he comes back at the age of 39. He's the quarterback in 2001. He's the quarterback for the San Diego Chargers. He starts 16 games. He played 16 games, started 16 games, had 521 attempts, 294 completions, a completion rate of 56.4, and 3,464 yards at 39 years old. And he's too short to play the game. He never got the opportunity to play. You watch the guy throw the ball, and he talked about, it was always, a lot of times, even when he was the starter, he didn't get reps in practice because they weren't intending on starting him.
Yeah.
And they would just go, okay, fine, let's put Doug in there. We're going to start Doug. And then, of all things, in 2005, his last game, or his last season, he was the kicker.
The drop kick.
Yeah.
Still so cool.
Yeah. But my point is Kyler Murray, Kyler Murray is the Warren Moon of today, because Warren Moon back in the day, it was back in the day when they believed, African Americans could not play quarterback in the NFL. Mm-hmm. He went to the Canadian Football League, proved them wrong, was lighting it up there. He's an NFL Hall of Famer now.
Yep.
Kyler Murray is the Doug Flutie and Warren. He's the guy who's undersized. He's fast, athletic. He's going to do fine. Whoever takes him, I still think he's going to the Cardinals. And they're saying they're going to send Rosen. Trade rumors now.
Send him to New York.
It's either New York or Miami for third-round picks and future draft picks. So apparently it's Miami or New York. So
let him go to the Giants.
Yeah.
I invite that.
Yeah. Being a Cowboy fan.
I am a Cowboy fan.
Okay, Cody Ford. Is he going to be a first round?
Oh, yeah. I think he's going to be top 20.
Yeah.
I got him going to the Vikings.
Let's see. Chad Reuter of NFL.com says the Chargers, 28th pick. R.J. White with CBS. He has him the 16th to the Packers, 19th to the Tennessee Titans, and 12th to the Packers. So,
for some reason, I'm just feeling Minnesota. They need a tackle.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he fits well up there.
Okay, Marquise Brown.
He seems like the type of player that's going to end up at like Green Bay or New England, and it's just going to irritate us to death.
Yeah.
And like we talked about before the podcast started, with that injury he had, the Lisfranc injury.
Yeah.
That's a bad injury.
Yeah.
I mean, easily fixed with surgery. I had the same injury, have the scars and everything.
Yeah.
I'm not Marquise Brown, though. And it took me a solid year to recover. It's obviously taken a whole lot less longer, for Marquise. And I think everybody's just kind of waiting to see him run.
Yeah.
They get these personal workouts, but he's not ready. So you can't do the private workout thing. So basically the team that's going to take him, they're going to have to decide, do we risk our first round pick on a receiver we're not 100% about?
100% sure, yeah.
Because no player's going to be like, you know what, guys? I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about millions of dollars here.
Well, I think he's going to go first round. One guy
who picks last in the first round.
Who? The
Patriots.
Patriots. Oh, that's true. No, but here's the interesting one. NFL. One of the guys on NFL.com says he'll be in the second round, the 33rd overall pick to the Cardinals. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yo, and the schedule just got released. Marquise and Kyler versus Baker.
Yeah.
I'd go to Phoenix for that.
And then this guy from CBS Sports has him in the first round, 30th pick to the Packers.
It's almost scary.
Yeah. Then you got another guy round 2 to the Giants, and a guy round 2, 39th pick to the Buccaneers. I've also heard that he may go to the Raiders. Now that would be crazy to have the Cousins on.
Oh man, yeah, Antonio and Marquise.
Yeah. So, and that's the other thing about Kyler is that there's, the word has been out there too that the Raiders have been trying to work some type of trade deal
for number one.
I don't know for number one, but one of those agreements you don't pick Kyler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You need to go ahead and trade for number one. We need that back to back.
Yeah.
For our own selfish reasons.
Now here's one that I think is tough. Rodney Anderson. I know people got him in the 4th and 7th round here. I don't see anybody taking. I think they're going to tell him.
If I had to put money on a team that would take Rodney in the draft,
it'd be the Dallas Cowboys.
No, God, no, that would make too much sense. I would put money on the Chiefs.
On the Chiefs?
On the Chiefs. you look at their roster. They lost Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
You got Damian Williams, who's a serviceable back.
Yeah.
He proved that in the playoffs. But after that, I think it's like Andre Ware.
Yeah.
Not Andre Ware.
But see, the problem is, though, man, Rodney hasn't made it through a whole year without getting hurt.
2017.
Mm?
Well, he didn't start all year, but he made it through the year. He wasn't the starter in game one.
But,
but he made it through the year.
Yeah, but, I mean, he broke his neck, fluke accident, broke his leg, fluke accident.
That was nasty.
Then
the ACL.
Yeah, well, he hurt his shoulder.
Yeah.
In was that with 17, wasn't it? Rose Bowl.
He didn't miss a game because of injury.
Yeah, well, but I mean, it was 2000. What year are we in
16
now?
summer going into 17.
17, yeah. So he hurt his shoulder during the season.
Yeah.
And then, the ACL, which I still watched that play, and it was like, what happened?
Never see it.
Yeah, there was no twist, no.
He just.
Yeah.
Like the Ryan Broyles injury, that was.
I mean, but I just, man, it's really hard for me to see a team, unless, they take him really, really late, the 7th round or something like that. But even that, it's like, you know what? Hey, just free agent, just show up. And, he's good enough to make a team, but I just don't see
absolutely.
a team, a team wanting to throw money at him to get him to.
Yeah, I can understand that. And, I mean, he's got quite the extensive history. And I don't know. I'm really feeling Kansas City, might take a chance on a guy.
Yeah.
You're going to see a bunch of players drafted on the 2nd and 3rd day that you're going to be like, what?
What? Why?
Who is that? Why? And, 10 years from now, they might end up being, big name.
Yeah. Bobby Evans, offensive lineman.
Undrafted.
You don't think he's going to get drafted?
I hate to be that way, but I really don't think so. I've heard some things about, should have stayed in school. They tried to convince him to stay in school.
Yeah.
I don't know his personal life, and I'm not trying to judge, but maybe he does have some issues that he needs, the NFL can fix, which are pretty abundant.
Yeah.
So,
well, it can fix them for a couple of years until you can't play anymore, and then you're without money.
I feel like Bobby, his 2017 did nothing but boost him to this level over like, you know what? That's the next Orlando Brown.
Yeah.
And then the season started, and we couldn't. It just something was wrong. Something was missing. He didn't have the great year that we all expected, and I really thought he would come back.
Yeah.
But I just out of those guys, I don't know if he gets the call.
2 of these guys got him in the 3rd round. One to the Titans, one to the Panthers, and then 5th round to the Cardinals. So, geez, if he goes to the Cardinals, it's gonna
be a heck of an offense, but they don't have a defense either.
So they're just building the Oklahoma offense out in Arizona, apparently. Ben Powers.
I think he's gonna be a steal, and if I had to say, I'm gonna say like mid 3rd round, early 3rd round.
Yeah, these have him 4th and 7th to my Steelers. One guy has them, Cleveland Browns, and then the Houston Texans.
He's one of those guys that could be one of those picks in the 2nd round where you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
They took him.
Yeah.
And I think he could have a lot of success.
Yeah. Drew Samia, offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same. 4th and 7th round is what people are picking. Patriots in the 7th round, Titans or the Lions in the 4th round.
I can see him at the Pats.
Yeah, and here's another one I don't understand. Amani Bledsoe, he came out early, didn't he?
Well, it was the whole waiver thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it got declined.
Yeah.
Because the NCAA didn't know how to test for steroids.
Yeah. So they got him 6. Most people in the 6th round, and then our buddy Austin Siebert, kicker, 7th round, 222nd pick.
They got him getting drafted?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good luck, Austin.
To the Chicago
Love your
Bears.
Twitter game, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen his Facebook stuff?
No, I just...
I'm not saying anything bad. I get it. I understand it. But dude's selling all of his stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's all over the place. He's trying to sell his
shoes.
He's trying to sell his shoes up there at the laboratory. Shout out to Landon Liddell, by the way. Those exclusive kicks, man.
Yeah.
And
footballs.
Footballs.
Helmets,
cleats.
jerseys. So,
I don't even know if I could wear his jersey.
You probably couldn't. Well, we talked about the jerseys up
one
there.
shoulder, maybe.
At Louis. They're, I would be, I played in the day where you had basically half shirts, they weren't half, they were belt line.
And tearaways?
No, it was after tearaways, but it was you see the Bosworth, the
belly
the
shirt.
fishnet net.
Fishnet.
Fishnet shirts.
Oh, do you like fish sticks, Derek?
Yeah, I do like fish sticks.
Like putting fish sticks? Anyway.
Well, I don't like fish. What are you guys talking about? South Park reference. South Park.
I'm so sorry.
But no, that the shirts were loose, that the sleeves come down, to your forearms and stuff, and I would be uncomfortable playing in jerseys. I don't like tight shirts for anything ever, tucking in shirts. So if I had to go out on a football field with all my rolls showing,
hey, that could help you out in a pass rush.
Yeah,
I mean, touch that.
I wonder how those guys, literally how they get those shirts on, because dude, I'll show you some of them. I got a couple of them out here, the extra large, like we were talking about. There ain't no way a guy, a medium would fit, but they squeeze those things on. And this is a defensive backs that was an extra large that I've got. And
no way.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
You put it on, it's like, it doesn't even.
I'll tell you what. Those Nike compression jerseys, if you're not a skill guy,
yeah.
If you weigh over 200 pounds, that's a bad day.
Yeah.
That is a terrible day. You think most of these players are like, man, those guys are big. No, it's those jerseys that are squeezing the life out of you. I hated wearing white.
Yeah, just to get a breath, you have to go over and I'm sure pull it up over your gut just to
see. It's not even a fashion statement about these jerseys being above the belly.
Yeah.
These guys can't breathe. They're too tight.
I'm telling you, I believe it, man. But no, but like I said, Austin is selling. Cybert's selling everything though. He's selling his jerseys. He's selling some. Which hey,
it's hard out here for a kicker.
Yeah. I mean, he can do it now. I don't, I'm sure if I'm sure he's got, well, hell, he's been here 4 years. So what is that? 12 games, 13, 14 games. So he's got probably 32 jerseys or 100 jerseys, same amount of pair of cleats, wristbands, and you need $1.
Why does a kicker wear wristbands?
I don't know.
Why?
Why does the kicker wear shoulder pads?
Well, as in recent years, our kickoff coverage.
Yeah, well, but field goal kicker, and I still like they should go back to the day when kickers and punters had the single bar face mask,
Oh, the old Morton Anderson.
Hey, that's all you need, and Morton, some of those guys that had them down here under their chin, they weren't even covering their face.
I mean, was that a lunch pail or a helmet? Let's be honest here.
Yeah, those were the days. So one thing I did want to ask you about, last thing, off of football for a bit.
Okay.
You're umpiring, right?
Yeah.
Little league or high school?
Right now, it is Little League. Talking with some people about getting on a high school crew, but right now it's more focused on the 10 and 11 and 12 and 13 ages, which I love. Games go by fast when you get some good teams out there. Yeah. And sometimes we're not even hitting the time limit. We're just finishing innings.
Yeah.
And then there's other days where, it doesn't go by as fast.
So are you primarily behind the plate or?
100% of the time.
100%
Behind the plate the whole time.
How many times do you get yelled at? How many warnings have you put out so far this year?
We've had one ejection this year. I was just having a bad day. I got tired of the guy talking to me. No, it's pretty chill. Honestly, I umpire in Lexington, which is 13 miles south of Norman. All y'all that don't know, little town, little 3-field park. But I run the Ouachita Valley League down there in OK Kids, and I have ejected less people in 5 years in Lexington than I did in 2 years at Griffin Park in Norman, which is recreational
league,
non-competitive. Everyone gets a trophy. It doesn't matter.
Right. No.
I threw 6 out in one game at Griffin. It was ridiculous. I got spit on in Norman. I was so happy to be done there. I got to Lex, and I was just like, great. Now we're dealing with, you're more redneck type,
yeah.
and I can
Country
say that
folk.
because I am one,
Yeah.
and I are one. So, but I haven't had any issues down there. Those parents down there, they're great. The coaches are great, some of them. And it's mainly, if we have an issue, it's with an away team that thinks I'm trying to,
Yeah.
put one in for the home team. Well, then I pull my license out and it says I'm from Norman, and then they just go back to yelling at little Tommy for dropping the ball. But overall, it's been good. I love it. Easy money. It's something to do, and this goes back to, I think we talked about this one time. This is how I pay for my season tickets.
Oh, your umpire.
Talk to RJ about this. Yeah. This is my side hustle. I work from the beginning of April through the end of June, and then I do tournaments after that.
Yeah.
But this is my season ticket money right here.
Cool.
I grind it out through the summer, and then by August, tickets are in my hand, and I love those coaches a little bit more. So thank you, Lexington Youth Baseball, for my season tickets.
I coach Little League with my boys, and I was going to be an umpire once, and I umpired 3 games, and I was the first base umpire. Okay.
That's easy, man.
It should be, okay? It really should be. But, and I know it because I coached, and I wasn't one that would get on to the umpires because I'm a firm believer, for one, it's like you said, it's kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want it to be competitive, and we played in a competitive league up in Oklahoma City. You wanted it to be competitive. I wanted to teach my kids the difference between winning and losing. Mm-hmm. And but man, some of those coaches and some of the parents up there, I was umping first base, and this old umpire told me this after the play. But I made the cardinal rule, or I broke the cardinal sin of making a call. Because it was so close, and I went out. Okay, I hesitated.
Oh man!
Okay. It took me.
Man. Only thing worse is giving a safe call while yelling out. That's worse.
And I mean, this coach just come up and off of the off the first base coach's box, and oh, you got to be kidding me! I was like, hey, it's he's out. And what this guy had told me, the umpire told me, he goes, one thing to learn. One is don't hesitate. And at first base, he said, he told me, listen, don't look. Okay. Yep. The glove makes a pop. The base makes a thud.
Yep.
Okay. He said, I can do it with my eyes closed. And the other thing was to not hesitate. And he goes, and never believe the rule, the tie goes to the runner. He goes, there is no rule in baseball that says tie goes to the runner. It's a judgment call. Mm-hmm. Every call in baseball, well, it used to be, now they have instant replay, is a judgment call. And it's up to the umpire. Now, you can be really wrong or you can be really right. But after that night, that was about my 3rd game. And that night, that coach, that you'd have thought I called everybody out at first base. He came out there and just, still, boo, that was a terrible call. And I'm like, dude, we're in the 5th inning, okay? And it was in the first inning. I think it was the first batter of that game. Oh. And he let me have it all night. And I think they lost, and how they can be. It was because of the first runner.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
You ruined that kid's career.
Yeah.
I get that all the time.
Yeah. So, hats off to anybody like yourself who will go out there and take the time. I know you earn money for it, and you deserve it because it's hard. Especially behind the plate. You got all the gear on.
Hey.
And it gets hot.
I prefer being behind the plate because that's where the money is.
Yeah, that's where they pay you a little bit more.
The league play isn't the problem. It's the tournaments. It's when we're out there from 9 a.m. till 11 or whenever the last game ends.
Yeah.
And, it's a rough day. You get like 10, 15-minute breaks in between games, but you're right back on the field.
Do you get free Cokes?
We get whatever we want, man. It's Cokes, candies. If you want to know where I'm at, I'm the guy with 10 waters sucking them down so I can make it through game 2. But I love doing those. It's fun to interact because tournaments I will get out in the field and I'll do the bases a little bit, and the fans of the side will talk to you a little bit. I love being able to out there, and not only am I umpiring and officiating a game, like I feel like I'm actually helping teach these kids the rules, and if they do something wrong, they're young enough where we can go up to them and be like, hey, if you do that, it's a balk, or if you do that, we're not necessarily coaches, but we're helping them learn the ins and outs of the rules of baseball. And that's where my fun comes in, because that's what I want to be, is a coach and a teacher, and be able to help the youth, and whether that's in the classroom or on the field, that's where I get my passion in, and that's where it shows up, is being able to teach these kids what I learned from my dad and other coaches.
Right. And when you were a kid, be true, your dad pushed you to do things, and you're always going. You don't appreciate it until you start doing it.
Absolutely right.
You know what I mean? It's like, holy cow. I may have told you this, but I've talked about it on. My dad was a disabled veteran, and I boxed as a kid. Me and all my brothers, we boxed when we were little. And when he passed away, one of my brothers sitting there, and he goes, "I just got to thinking, man, because he could hardly walk. He had a gimp leg and a bad arm, and he's like, I just got to thinking, man, do you know how many times that old man stumbled up and down those steps to the ring to coach us? And got us up every morning at 6 o'clock, which I hated back then, to go run. And then in the evenings, he did, and then driving us to, I didn't have a lot as a kid. So, like Caleb, when he wrestled, we had a little bit more than what my parents did. My parents raised 5 kids, but we would go to a tournament. If it was a 2-day tournament, we'd spend the night, wrestling, or baseball or anything like that with any of the other kids. But, when I was a kid, we would drive from McAllister to Fort Smith, Arkansas for a baseball tournament or a boxing match. On Thursday was the first night of the tournament. We'd drive back to McAllister. I'd get up, I'd go to school. My dad would pull me out of school at 2 o'clock. We'd drive back to Fort Smith, fight again, drive back to McAllister. Saturday, get up. We didn't have the money to, and he would drove us all, and he was the same way with baseball. He drove us all over the place. And you don't realize how much that is until you get out there and start doing it and wanting to, and my dad influenced so many kids, as an adult, just from being a boys club coach and umpire, I mean, and my dad was hardcore. He didn't, even if he was umping against me, if he wasn't coaching, because we had 4 boys, so he was always coaching one kid, but he would ump other games. Man, he was harder on us when he was an ump.
You show up and you see Dad in the umpire uniform, you might as well just go home.
Yeah, it's like,
nothing's going to be a ball. You better swing the bat.
Yeah. And I remember there was a team that we had like 2 or 3 kids on vacation. We didn't have hardly any of our team there, and we were just getting drubbed. Mm-hmm. We didn't have anybody in the dugout, and 2 of our pitchers were gone, and they were just this kid was playing second, but I can't remember his name. It was a line drive, and it was too high for him, and he threw his glove at it. Okay, and my dad goes, when they're playing, and he goes, extra base, throwing the glove, and you can't throw the glove at a ball.
Hey, it works in church league softball. I'm telling you that.
But yeah, that was how he was. It was like, Dad, we're getting beat 12-0. You just gave the guys another base. Okay,
yeah, don't throw your glove again.
Yeah, don't throw your glove. But anyway, so, but I heard you said you were doing on Thursday, Mondays and Thursdays.
Mondays and Thursdays, I'm in Lexington.
That sounds like fun, man.
Yeah, it's. I have a blast. Like I said, season's still pretty young.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, come postseason tournament time, I'll hop back on the podcast and let you know.
Yeah.
That's when it gets good.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everybody gets serious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
postseason tournament. They want that ring, or they want that little plastic whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's real for those kids listening. It's real.
Oh, yeah.
It's real gold.
Yeah.
Take it down to Walmart.
But one thing I do want to tell you, I know it's supposed to be raining Thursday, so if it is raining, we're having our big deal or it's not a big deal. We're just,
man, I'm hoping it rains Thursday. I could use a rain out.
Yeah, come down to Louis. They're giving us that back dining room, not where we were at in the bar, just the back dining room.
Okay, so the actual Louis.
Yeah. And it's family friendly. 3 TVs. Holzhammer is going to be there. Tattoo. A couple other guys are coming. So anybody who wants to come and hang out with us, we're just going to sit there and watch the draft. And
okay. Yeah, if I'm not down there doing some,
you can wear your Cowboys jersey, or
no, I won't be, because our draft doesn't start till Friday. So
Friday.
Thursday is y'all's draft.
Yeah.
Everybody
well,
else's.
I'm still on my Steelers. I'm getting a little bit fed up because I love Ben. Ben's getting old. They are not doing anything to develop a quarterback in this deal, or even looking at.
Y'all let the golden child go, man. Andrew Jones. That was the future right there.
I honestly believe he was. I mean, I thought that they could turn him in. Man, but when he got into a game in the pro, I mean, we were in the playoffs two or 3 years ago against, was it the Bengals?
Bengals or Dolphins?
Yeah, I think it was the Bengals when Ben was hurt and came back in with like a dislocated shoulder or something because Landry was he just couldn't get it going.
But if Josh Heupel was there, he tore it up.
Yeah, but you got to give it up to Landry. He for 4 years he made $3 million a year carrying a clipboard.
Hung out.
Chilling.
Straight chilling.
And if they needed
Ben's over there going over coverages. Like, oh, man, he's back. We got to look out for him. Landry's over there like, what hats am I wearing today? And do they have the purple Gatorade?
Yeah, that's it. So hats off to him. Well, man, is there anything else you want to talk about? Any knowledge you want to drop to all two of our listeners out here?
I mean, we can go story for story if you want. I mean, I've got some stories.
Well, share a good story with us.
I mean, about what you want? Football, baseball?
Yeah, football.
Give me a topic. Give me some specifics, and I'll lay one out there.
Okay. Well, no, let's throw baseball out here.
Okay.
Because I've got a good baseball story too.
Okay.
There was, I guess it was North and Putnam City today. Norman North playing baseball.
Are you talking about the video on Twitter?
Yeah, they got catcher got ran over.
Yeah, the Putnam City catcher was, I thought, clearly in the baseline. And Norman North's Grant Randall, who's the younger brother of one of my good friends, Blake Randall.
Yeah.
He's running towards home and ran into the catcher. Now, if you watch the video, he didn't lower his shoulder and his feet stopped when they hit. He could have really hurt that catcher.
Yeah.
I think that was hey, get out of the way, or next time it's going to hurt.
Yeah. Now,
there was some, heated, kind of jawing back and forth, but, everybody said, oh, he should have been ejected for hitting the catcher. Well, he's in the base path.
Yeah.
If that's me, if that's my call, I'm calling obstruction.
Yeah, obstruction.
And he's getting the run. Now, I mean, I don't know the situation. It's like a 17-second clip, but, that's my boy, so.
Have you ever lowered a shoulder or run over anybody in a baseball game?
Have I run over anybody in a baseball game?
Because I saw you posted on there, stay out of the baseline. And then, of course, you saw my little, what would Pete Rose do? And it was Pete Rose barreling over a catcher.
No, I never got the opportunity to run anybody over, but I was also catcher, back in the day.
See,
so I kind of, there was, okay, now we're going full story mode. We were in Weatherford for a tournament. This was Little League, and my dad was one of the coaches, and we all decided one tournament we're going to go somewhere and stay in a hotel as a team.
Right.
Weatherford was the YMCA Memorial, whatever. And, our team was the Mercy Drillers, so it was fun. We'd go to every tournament, and everybody would be like, where the heck is Mercy? It was my aunt and uncle's wireline company. So it's nowhere.
It's nowhere.
It's actually Fort Smith, Arkansas. But anyway, so we were playing against Elk City. Elk City had this kid, man, he was probably like 6'1" as a 12-year-old, 13-year-old maybe. But we saw him earlier in the day. He was crushing the ball, just a big kid. Well, he coming around third on a play, and I looked over, kind of glanced, got my position, and saw their coach giving him the bring it, go home. And I'm like, well, the ball's in the infield, so this will be fun.
Yeah.
And so my buddy at second, he rockets it one into me, one hop, I catch it, and it was like movie sequence, man. I catch it, turn, and he is right into the middle of lowering his shoulder, and I was like, well, here we go. And I kind of put my knee down, and when he lowered his shoulder, he tripped, and his head went into my knee. I had catcher's gear on. I tagged the kid out. Well, at that time, I was still innocent. I was still a good kid, and I thought, like, oh, man, we had a collision. Man, those people wanted to fight us. I had no idea what was going on. And so we go into the dugout. My dad's just like, you all right? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm used to this.
Yeah.
I'm a football player.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And he goes, kind of a dirty play. And I was like, by me? He's like, no, just overall, it's a bad deal. And he goes, but you did the right thing. You didn't block the bag. He tripped and hit you. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a cool story, but it was the one time it happened. Now, you want to talk church league softball?
I get to share. I was about 13 years old, 13, 14, and in McAllister, it was called Babe Ruth League. Okay, you had midget, Maverick midget, Pee Wee, Maverick midget, Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was the big guys, 12, 13, 14, maybe 14, 15. So I can't remember what it was, but I got ejected from a game for running over a catcher, and I played catcher, but he was in the baseline. Okay, he was standing. You can't see this, but he was standing like this. Okay, feet apart, like this. They ejected me. They talked to my dad because my dad wasn't the coach, but my dad was always at the game, and the umps knew my dad, because but they ejected me because I just started high school football, weightlifting and stuff, and learning really how to block. And back in those days, they taught you to punch. Instead of throwing a forearm back in the day, they taught you to punch.
Throw your hands, yeah.
You throw your hands into their gut, work them up. And we worked on that immensely. And the ump said, I remember standing there where they ejected me. It's like, it wasn't that you ran over him. It's like, dude, you punched him with both hands. And my dad said, your arms came way back when you came in and boom.
You heard go home. You were told go home. What you heard was 33 ISO.
Yeah. It's like, this guy's standing in my way. And I got ejected for, they said running over him wasn't really the issue. It was throwing the punches, but it was fun. I mean,
oh yeah.
But my dad taught us just like that. He was old school baseball. My brother John was a catcher too. Now John had the Kyler Murray syndrome. He was short. John is still short. His nickname, he's a roughneck. His nickname is Shorty. Okay, so when you're a roughneck and you're okay with being called Shorty, you're a short guy. Okay. And people used to, when they would try to steal third on him, or they started stealing third on him because they realized just lean back. The batter just leaned back, getting John's way. He can't step forward.
I'll
he can't
drill
step
the
back.
batter right in the ear hole.
Boom. He knocked a kid out. Okay. He actually just kind of hopped back so he would have more of a distance.
Oh man!
Last time everybody stayed. After that, every time someone, if anybody
that
tried
umpire
to
better call the runner out too for interference.
But yeah, put it right in the ear hole. That's how my dad taught us. He said, run if they're in the baseline, run them over.
They either got to stay in the box or get down.
Yeah.
I had that happen 2 weeks ago, and first time I ever had to deal with it as an umpire, and I about died laughing.
Yeah.
Because I'd never seen it happen before. Kid stepped back. It was strike 3, by the way.
Yeah.
Batter just kind of, naturally started walking backwards out of the box because whatever. Catcher lets it go, plunks him right off the helmet. It cleared the backstop. And we all just kind of like, what? And I was like, all right, well, interference, runner's out. Batter's out.
Yeah.
The coach was over there screaming, why is the batter out? I was like, well, that's strike 3.
That's number 1.
This is the weirdest double play ever. But yeah, that's 3 outs.
Yeah.
We got to go.
Yeah, but the only thing he didn't teach us or allow us is to slide with you, because when you got into Babe Ruth, you wore spikes.
Oh, yeah.
And you didn't slide with your spikes up.
Oh, no.
You said that's shit.
That's one of those unwritten rules.
Yeah.
Or it might even be a written rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, your leg goes up. That's
that's
an automatic fight.
But they used to laugh at me. The umpire would tell me when I come out that my leg guard was loose. Your leg guard's loose. No, it's not, because when I knew there was a play at the plate, I blocked the plate and I would slide my
you got those spikes.
shin guard, because I got spiked once.
Yep.
At home, I was like,
once is the last time.
Yeah, you got spiked and you're like, yeah, okay, I'm figuring out how to turn, and I would just turn the shin guard over to my leg, and that's how I blocked the plate with it. But
yeah, those spikes are no joke.
Yeah, I got hit in the chest with once. My chest protector had little fuzzies on it the rest of the year.
Ugh, I spiked myself. I've
done that too. Running.
Came set, brought my leg up, just drug it right up my shin.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I clipped one time running. I clipped my ankle.
Oh, that's not fun.
No.
And you bleed like, crazy.
But it was cool walking around in them, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. You get those kids. I never did this because my dad would kill me because he paid for the spikes.
Yeah.
You got those kids that'll like go over the concrete and kind of kick the concrete and have the sparks fly up. You see it and you're like, man, that's cool. My dad would kill me.
Yeah.
So.
My dad, he actually he didn't buy me the spikes. I wore the spikes that my dad wore when he played high school baseball. And
I didn't have that option, and I'm bigger than my dad.
Well, my dad was shorter than me, but he had kept them, and all my brother, he'd always offered them, when they got there, but my brother's feet were too small because all my brothers were smaller than me. And these things were old black with the big flap over.
Were they square? Tell me they were square.
No, but they were old black leather. There was no cushion in the insole. You could feel the spikes pushing through the bottom, but I loved them. It was like, my dad was like, you can probably wear these. Of course, as a kid, I was like, Dad, I want to, wear my, I want some spikes. And we were at the store, and he goes, I got spikes at home. I'm like, first off, I was like, and then I was like, dude, now I look back on it, it's like my dad went to high school in the 50s.
Right.
Okay.
So you're wearing history.
Yeah. I wore my dad in the 80s. I wore my dad's, the same spikes that my dad wore playing high school baseball.
That's a cool moment too. That's a cool thing to be able to, talk about here in 2019.
Yeah. How many kids, that he just kept them and, he offered them to all the kids and wear them. And at first I was like, oh man. But then I was like, hey, these are my dad's spikes.
Right.
These have seen the fields of Ashland and Kiowa, Oklahoma.
Now, had I been able to wear them, would I? Absolutely.
Yeah.
My dad had some all-white Pumas from the 80s. I'd have rocked those every day because he told me one time when I was younger, he's like, yeah, these cleats, I would take a magic marker and color in the logo because it was like a felt kind of, and you could just wash it and it'd go out. I was like, I want those Pumas. Well, my dad has been a size 10 since high school, and I passed size 10 in 8th grade. So those were out of the question, but he still got them, and I saw them the other day. Those are some of the coolest cleats.
Yeah.
Because you could take a magic marker and color in the logo with whatever colors you wanted, and if you wanted them gone, hot washcloth.
Hot washcloth. Wow.
Pretty
I don't remember.
cool. Yeah.
We had some cool things in the 80s. Well, man, I think we better call it quits. Everybody probably, a lot of times by now, unless they're driving to Dallas or somewhere, they're turning us off or going into the
they've
office.
turned it off 30 minutes ago.
They're talking about baseball. No, but we got good listeners. They listen to our stories. So, but Demo, I appreciate you filling in. I may need you again this weekend.
Hey, I'll be available. I'll be at the house.
So I'll let you know and maybe just have you over and do it anyway with us. But hopefully Rob's sabbatical will end soon. And
bless him.
Bless him. And Caleb said he's going to start doing Sundays with us. I'll believe it. You know Caleb. Caleb doesn't want to do something unless he has something in particular he wants to talk about.
He showed up to the spring game party. Yeah. He showed up. He was there. He didn't talk. Yeah. But he was there.
He was there.
So it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. But like I said, it's, usually when he was living here, he was sitting in there in the living room. I was like, you going to do the podcast? I don't have anything to say. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Just talk.
Make something up.
Yeah, just talk. And he's like, unless I got a topic, I don't really, So I've been working him to, just come in here and just talk. Keep telling him, I said, it's no different than what we do sitting around at Louis, sitting around the table. We all talk about football, but, whatever we want to talk about. But anyway, that's it, guys. That's for the podcast. Thanks for listening. And remember to hit that subscribe button. But we'll see you next time. Boomer Demo.
Sooner, Terry.
But when I play football, I'll make sure that I always wear protective gear, such as my helmet and them shoulder pads.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Sooner Football Fans Podcast is hosted by Rob Nixon, Terry Long, and occasionally Caleb Long. It is produced at the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma. Follow us on Twitter at SoonerFBFans and like our Facebook page at Facebook.com/Sooner Football Fans and visit our website at www.SoonerFootballFans.com to read our blogs and keep up with our tailgating activities. Boomer Sooner, everyone.